Should you visit Sri Lanka in 2026? Let's go through the reasons why you should and shouldn't.
So if you didn't know, we've just spent the last 3 weeks backpacking around Sri Lanka. We're going to go over the positives and the negatives. Let's go.
The cost of living in Sri Lanka is very doable. It's a lot lower than you'd be used to if you're watching from Europe or North America. Food's really cheap and the accommodation's even cheaper. A few things to look out for when you are in Sri Lanka though.
So there's a 10% service charge pretty much everywhere you go. And 10% isn't that much, but you usually find it does kind of add up at the end of the bill.
Tipping isn't necessary all the time, but it's appreciated. The way we did it was instead of a percentage on top of what we paid, we'd usually round up notes or change or anything like that just to reward good service. Don't tip for bad service, tip for good service.
So food is so cheap that you can kind of roughly budget for about 2,000 rupees per meal. Obviously you can go a lot lower than that, you can go a lot higher, but we kind of found the average of our meals was about 2,000 rupees.
The costs for travel and transport also are very low. The train prices, we use the train a lot to get around. Train prices are higher in the mountains in the north, in the more touristy routes like the Ella to Kandy route. In the lowlands, the trains can cost anywhere from 50 rupees to 300 rupees, something like that.
Accommodation in Sri Lanka is great. We found it pretty good, really reasonably priced. We only stayed in a hostel once, so all the rest of the time we were there we stayed in a private double room, which obviously worked better for us.
Again, like everywhere, the cost of accommodation directly represents the quality of accommodation you're getting. We have found so far, so if you didn't know, at the moment we're in Thailand, the quality of accommodation to the price is considerably better in Thailand, I would say. But to be honest, the Sri Lanka stuff is very cheap, very cheerful, and you're going to have a good time wherever you go.
One of the things about the accommodation in Sri Lanka as well is it was literally in every place we went. There were ants everywhere. You can't really complain about it because you're kind of nearly in the jungle everywhere you are. But there are ants everywhere. They're so small, they're so tiny, they don't bother you. They follow their one little path. But just if you go anywhere and you're not in the most high-end hotel ever on the 30th floor, you're probably going to have ants in your accommodation. So is Sri Lanka actually safe? I found it definitely was. There was no times at all where I felt unsafe at all. Obviously I was traveling with a man, so I can speak from a female perspective, but I can't really speak from a solo female traveler perspective. But we saw so many solo female travelers around Sri Lanka as well. So I presume it is, but for me anyway, there was, I felt so safe, I felt so welcome. I never felt objectified or nobody was disrespectful to me either. We found in a couple of times in a couple of the more rural regions, people would initially just speak to Dan first before speaking to me, just out of a place of their cultural respect for women. And that didn't bother me at all. Once I started kind of initiating conversation with them, then, they were more than friendly with me as well. Yeah, definitely, Sri Lanka is definitely safe.
Yeah, don't worry about safety in Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan food is superb. The first thing we did when we got there, we went and tucked into Sri Lankan rice and curry, the Sri Lankan string hopper breakfast, dal curry, kottu, everything, including short eats, is absolutely amazing. My personal favourite was the range of short eats we enjoyed, so the fish and egg rolls, really amazing. What was your favourite?
There's just so many things that could be my favourites. I definitely love the fish and egg rolls, but one of my kind of standout favourites, it was kind of our first full proper dinner meal, but we had the chicken cheese kottu, which is I know it's a tourist favourite, but it was one of my favourites as well. It was just so consistently good. One of the other things as well that I absolutely loved, drank it literally every meal, was a lassi, specifically mango lassi. They're so good and so refreshing, and I don't think it's actually a Sri Lankan dessert, a Sri Lankan drink, but they serve it everywhere. You can get it everywhere, so definitely recommend a mango lassi.
Getting on to the most important part of Sri Lanka, the people we met, the people we've interacted with over the whole journey, online and in person, have been absolutely amazing. So welcoming, friendly, lovely, happy to see you, always greet you with a smile. So I'd really recommend get yourself to Sri Lanka to meet the people, first and foremost.
I definitely agree with that. Like the people, they just make Sri Lanka, you know, like as phenomenal as it is. Like it just wouldn't be Sri Lanka without the people, you know, just the vibes, the chilled vibes and the atmosphere, like just like it's electric.
A big shout out to all of the local people we met. In specific, we've got Namasha, Shan, David, everyone we brushed shoulders with. Oh, Delusha as well. Thank you so
Yes.
much to Delusha from B Farmella. Everyone we bumped into was absolutely amazing. Sri Lanka is very famous for the island life kind of aspect of it, and that was really prevalent, to be honest. Everyone that we met was a lot more relaxed and calm than we thought would be.
Yeah, definitely. Even when we found in the cities and everything, you know, people were just so relaxed. Like there was no rush on anything. It was just take everything as it comes.
Pretty much everyone we bumped into spoke really good English as well, so the language barrier was actually minimal. The places where we went and they didn't speak good English, you can have the conversations anyway, that's absolutely fine. So the two main languages in Sri Lanka are Sinhala and Tamil, but English is kind of like a third language there. Most people do speak it, so it's very easy as an English-speaking traveller to get around Sri Lanka and to also conversate and order and pay.
And even the people who didn't speak English like very well, or even people who didn't even speak a word of English, you know, they still want to, you know, it's still so worth like communicating with them, you know. If you like, they will put in the effort if you put in the effort as well. Like some of our most like authentic kind of relationships with people in Sri Lanka were with people who didn't speak like a word of English, you know. Like if you put the love and the effort in, they'll put it right back, and it's just amazing.
Getting into some of the culture shocks we experienced, there wasn't that many, to be honest. I think the main one for me was the drive-in. It's all over the place, and you know it's hectic, but it's almost like a little bit of a everyone knows what everyone's doing. No road rage whatsoever, which was probably the biggest part of the culture shock for me. No one gets angry with each other.
Kind of watching how everybody drives down the roads, it's like it's nearly poetic seeing how they like weave in and out of each other, like it's like a hive mind. They all just like know what everybody's doing, you know. You'll have your 2 lanes of traffic, but somehow there'll be 10 lanes of traffic on those 2 lanes, you know, going forward and backwards and all over the place. It's quite satisfying to watch, actually. One of the big things with me as well, that was a bit of a culture shock, but I adjusted to it much quicker than I thought I would, was eating like curry for breakfast. Now I'm kind of somebody that like in the morning, I usually don't eat for a few hours after I wake up. So in the mornings, you know, I'm very particular about the kind of things I can eat. I usually go for sweet food in the morning, but eating curry for breakfast was something that definitely threw me off. But I found myself really enjoying it. It was like it's such like a balanced, nutritious meal that you eat it in the morning and then you find yourself literally not getting hungry, like not even thinking about food for like 6 hours after that. It's so good. And as well as that, the food was not even half as spicy as I thought it was going to be. I'm also not great with spice. I don't eat a lot of spicy food at home. So I definitely thought I would struggle with the spice levels of the food. But everything was such a good level of spice. It was balanced so well with the other flavours. And yeah, so if you're scared of the food being too spicy, don't worry about that at all. And there's so many options as well that aren't spicy as well. Just like I said, the chicken cheese katu is not spicy at all. It's a creamy, cheesy sauce.
The wildlife we encountered in Sri Lanka was absolutely amazing. You don't have to go out your way to see it either. Like you could be walking along the road, boom, monitor lizard, there's some monkeys swinging above you, everything like that. There's a lot of stray animals as well. They're by and large treated quite well. The locals very much respect them, as you'd hope they would.
Yeah.
And there's lots of dogs that are well looked after, lots of cats that are well looked after as well.
Yeah, and we had no problems with any of the stray animals on the streets being like vicious or aggressive at all, you know. They're just going about their day, minding their own business. But yeah, like Dan said, they seem so well looked after. A lot of them have like skin conditions and stuff like that, but you know, we never saw any animals that were like emaciated or like really, you know.
So with all that in mind, should you visit Sri Lanka in 2026?
I would definitely say yes, for sure. Just such a life-changing experience, you know. Just the way of life is so different, but it's so compatible as well, you know. You can't go wrong.
Sri Lanka is really a must-see destination. If you're going to go to Southeast Asia, especially from Europe, stop in Sri Lanka first. You know, break that journey up a little bit, go and see the sights. It's such an amazing place with such friendly people. Definitely go and visit Sri Lanka in 2026.
So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out our other Sri Lanka videos as well. You'll get a much better like perspective on everything that's been going on there. So we're now in Thailand, so definitely follow along. We'll have some Thailand videos coming out soon. We're currently in Bangkok, So we've been doing so much, filming so much content. We've also been getting over a little bit of a cold, that's why it's taken so long to get this video out. But we'll have them out rolling again soon. So thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!
So straight into some of the street food. We've got eggs here, some traditional Chinese foods, cigarettes of course. We've got the nice, actually, like the little click cigarettes there apparently, so